Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our Chicken Box family. It is a new year, and so welcome to 2026. We hope that everyone is ready for all that this year is going to bring, and we're excited for the guests that we have today and all throughout 2026 here on the Chicken Box. Now, this might be your first time, and if you're from the Maryland, Baltimore area specifically, when you hear the word chicken box, you think of four wings and fries, and then you debate whether it should be ketchup or hot sauce. Jay Jackson, are you a ketchup person or a hot sauce person?
I think I'm more of a ketchup and hot sauce person. So a
Okay,
little
yeah,
bit of both.
we need both there, right?
That's
And
right.
so, the chicken box with two X's. Our theme is "Don't be a chicken, get on the box." Powered by the 131-year-old Afro American. We used to say newspapers. We're in the AI, we're in the tech, we are in that space, and we're no longer a newspaper, we're Afro News, and we are embracing the innovation and technology. And we're here today with Jay Jackson, the co host. I'm Francis Toni Draper, CEO and publisher of The Afro. Go to afro.com to check us out. Our other co-host, Impeccable, may pop in at any minute. And so a shout out to Impeccable. And we just have conversations about interesting and exciting things that are happening in and for and around our community. And today is no exception. We have an outstanding guest today. I can't wait for us to talk with her and find out more about what she does. I'm going to ask Jay to introduce Keisha Boston Gallagher, who has an exciting journey into what she does now and a can do attitude that if she can do it, so can you. So, Jay, you want to introduce Keisha?
Absolutely. Her bio reads as following. And by the way, it's one of the best bios I've seen in a while. It's very
Oh,
good. I
thank you.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
If you've ever met Keisha Boston Gallagher, you'll quickly witness her natural gift for storytelling. Born and raised in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Keisha went to college with dreams of becoming a marketing professional like Marcus and Boomerang. You should know who that is. But life had other plans, leading her to discover that she was born to create production that tells authentic, emotional stories. Keisha trained and worked as a background and principal actor before finding her true calling behind the camera as a writer and film director. In 2021, she won the Flip the Script filmmaking competition, where she filmed and directed her multi-award winning short film, Hard Sale. She also hosted the Keisha Boston Show podcast and co-hosted the Mommy and Maddox podcast. Her latest short film, The Blues, won the Best Drama Short at the New York Movie Awards. Keisha is now developing a web series documentary that highlights a Baltimore-based girls basketball team making We Are Thrill the newest and most personal chapter in her filmmaking journey. And I just want to say that documentary is already like in process. So there's the first 6 episodes are actually already out at the time of this.
So,
So,
welcome.
welcome to the
Welcome,
show,
Keisha.
Keisha.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of
Thank
course,
you.
of course. I'll start off. I mean, we talked about this a little off air, but can you give people a little bit of background how you got into filmmaking?
Yeah, people know me. It was like, where did this come from? My degree, I went to college. My degree is in business, marketing and economics. Um, I just always felt like there was something else out there for me. I was never content. I was never pleased with a typical 9 to 5. And so I just got to a point in place in my life where I was like, I gotta figure this out. I need to figure me out. Now, mind you, I was married with a child at this point. I'm trying to figure me out, and I think we had just finished potty training. So what I did was acting was just always something I was curious about. Always, I liked it, and I said, well, let me take an acting class. I got on Groupon and I found the Groupon for an acting class and I took it and found out that I wasn't that bad. That's how I got into background acting. I did Power, I did 21 Bridges, I did Orange is the New Black, I did Law and Order, I did Blue Blood. Like I did a lot of productions. Oh, I did Creed 2. I'm in Creed 2 twice. So I did those productions and I used to always just ask questions, touch the set, try to figure out how things were made. Um, but it got to a point with acting where I was petrified. I did not like the idea of auditioning. I did not like the idea of putting in all this work for an audition and not getting it, and having to keep doing it. When it was time for me to meet with my acting coach, I was so nervous. And I believe that if something's for you, if this is your gift, you can be nervous, but you shouldn't be petrified. And so I got into screenwriting because I'm a big storyteller. Like I always have stories about something. And so I started writing. I did not go to school for that. You can get scripts for free online. And I had the script of Insecure. And I use that as a guide. Breaking Bad, everybody knows that first episode is like the holy grail of script. So I like watched Breaking Bad over and over again. I eventually got screenwriting coach. And she told me about Flip the Script filmmaking competition. And I didn't think I qualified for it. I was just like, well, that's for other people. So she encouraged me to try out, to apply. And I ended up getting in. And I ended up winning that competition where that was my first time being able to direct. And that right there opened up it opened up everything for me. And so I always say that's where it all started there.
Awesome.
Give us some time frame. How long did all of that take to come together?
It sounded like it was 5 minutes. I want to say when I started the Groupon, I was taking an acting class. They told us about, because at the time they were filming Creed, because I'm from New Jersey. We were staying like outside of Philadelphia. And they told us about Creed 2. And they said that you should apply because Creed 2 was a big production. So like when they had the fights, they had all the people in the crowd. They had a lot of things that they needed extras for. So that was when I applied and I got into it and I was able to talk to other people. And I was like, man, this is really good. Like I like this. And let me see. I want to say I kind of did that for about a year or two because then I moved to Maryland and I just felt like, oh, God had forsaken me because I was ready to move to New York because in my mind, I'm like, we're going to move to New York. I knew the church I wanted to go to and there's a lot of gigs there. I'm going to be right in New York. Like I had all of it and I moved here, Baltimore County, and I was like, what am I fitting to do here? This is horrible. Like, it's like, I had to try to figure out, but I was able to meet with my acting coach, did sessions on FaceTime. She was in like North Jersey, but I was able to do sessions with her. So I did the sessions there. And like I said, I was just like petrified. I was like, I don't know about this. Like, and even my sessions with the screenwriting coach, they were online too. So I guess that probably was like maybe like a 3-year process.
Okay.
That's still a pretty fast process.
Really, it did not feel fast. Like it did not. I'm gonna have to think about it. I'd be like, maybe that was 5. But yeah, it was about. It wasn't overnight though. But
Right. There are almost no overnight successes. Right. Like
I know. I just only hope and pray for it, but no, It was not an overnight.
I hear you. So I guess my question to you is: you start your first short film is Hard Sale, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you have The Blues, and now you're working on this series, We Are Thrill. Is there a line between those projects? Is there a through line? Is there something? Is there a particular aspect of like the human story or these kind of perspectives that you kind of have throughout all of your projects, or are these sort of like this project jumped out to you and you're like, I gotta tell this story?
Well, so the way Flip the Script filmmaking competition was we would meet. It was about 5 days, and it was a great thing. It was like a show almost, and we would meet online. We would have these sessions with somebody from the industry, or a professional, and then we would pretty much get an assignment, and then we would come back the next day, and then we would be judged of the assignment. So when I came out with Hard Sell, that probably was about 2, 3 in the morning,
Okay.
because the assignment had to be due by like 10 o'clock the next morning. So, and then we would get back online, and then everybody would watch it, and they would comment. Like it was a crazy time. Like people still talk about it. So that happened at like 3 in the morning. And I was just coming along a story that I felt as though that was good and that I could tell. And then later on in life, it resonated with me too much. It really became a story, a life story. The blues was just a story that just came out from a conversation with one of my best friends. And I always feel like it's a story in it. Like if you tell me something, people typically say, yo, this gotta be your next project. You gotta work on this. This a movie right here. But I felt like the blues, I was like, yo, you know what? I need to turn this into something. And We Are Thrill came from the fact that my daughter is on Teen Thrill, and I felt like I was never going to be able to film or do anything because I'm always at her games. I'm always at a practice. I'm always doing something pertaining to her life. But the typical theme is that everybody is going to be able to understand. Like something's going to hit, no matter which one it is. There should be something that resonates with you. I learned early on that whenever you work on one project, a producer told me, people always want to know what's next. People always wants to know what's next. And so Hard Sell was doing great. And he was like, what's your next? And I started working on my next, which was the blues, and then start working on We Are Thrill, which is like a lifelong commitment.
Well, we gotta ask. We have to ask. What's your next?
Oh God! You know, I say I'm in these documentary streets. I have more stories that I want to tell, relating to sports, in the documentary space. But We Are Thrill takes up a lot of my time. And when I say a lot, I did not want to do a web series. Because if you do like a documentary or a documentary short one project, you do it, you put it out there, you do your press run, whatever you want to do, it's done. You move on to your next. We Are Thrill is a constant next. Like that's the next episode, or what's this, or talking to the coach, and it's like, well, what about this? Well, the next time we film, we should do this. We should get the close-up shots the next time. Like that's a big next, and that thing takes up a lot of my time. But I hope to continue telling stories, and the more I'm able to expand my capacity, because it's me and it's my cinematographer. Somebody says, "Oh, you film too?" No, I do not film. I have somebody who films. It's him, Marcus Spencer, myself, and the coach has been really great. She wants to produce her credit, but we're still talking about that. The coach has been really great as far as what she thinks, or what she may want, and that's really it.
Well, tell people
That is really it.
how can people watch We Are Thrill?
Yes, on YouTube. If you just go to YouTube, you can type in We Are Thrill. Thrill. No ED, just We Are Thrill, and it will come up. It's under my production company YouTube channel called iPad Productions.
Okay.
Sure. I'm sorry, Dr. Draper, do you have a...
No, go ahead.
Okay. Do you have a sort of end goal for We Are Thrill, or is this a web series that just will kind of continue? Or is it just a season or whatever?
So now the girls are in, and I learned this early on too. Years ago, I used to meet with BEC, was nowhere prepared, had nothing going on for myself. Like I probably would say I have now. And they told me the importance of having a project that has legs. We Are Thrill follows Baltimore Team Thrill girls basketball team throughout their season. It follows the 2030 and the 2031 and the 2032 team. So these girls are in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We gonna be here for a while. So we have a journey ahead of us. However, yeah, we have a journey ahead of us. Um, my goal with We Are Thrilled from the beginning, because doing a web series was the last thing on my mind. My goal is to get this on television. I really want this on television. This is, and I always said, please correct me if I am wrong. This is the first documentary on a girls basketball team,
As far as I know.
following them on this level. Yeah, and I say I would, if I'm wrong, I would love to support that other project. I would love to watch it. I would love to meet the people around it. But this is the first project. And you know, I've learned to start paying attention to things in life. I'm a sucker for a documentary. And not just let it be a kids documentary. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting there watching. I may even start crying for no reason. But I'm a sucker for a kids document. I done watched all of them. Like I'm gonna sit there and watch little Joey run with that little football. I'm gonna watch. I mean, Cheer, Last Chance U, like especially like the sports related ones. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah.
So
It's funny that you said I was trying to remember what the name of the one documentary I saw a number of years ago, Step in 2017. I don't know if you've seen that one, which is about the Baltimore girls step crew or whatever. I remember seeing that in a theater, like an indie theater in Baltimore, and I'm like, why am I crying? Like I was like so proud of these young girls.
I don't know these girls.
Yeah, I have no idea who any of them are, right? But I don't have any investment at all, but it is just that story, right? Especially, and it's very similar to a sports story in a lot of ways. So my question to you is, okay, this is going to go on in perpetuity for quite some time.
If the Lord allows it, yeah. I mean, at least know to the end of the season. We good to the summer. I definitely at least know that.
To the summer. That's all right. That's cool. Like, how do you feel like you're now doing, you mentioned about, reading the script for Insecure, right? Which, obviously sparked off her career. Her name is escaping me right now. I feel terrible.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae, thank you.
Yeah.
And it sparked off from a web series as well. Like, do you feel like as you're doing this web series, do you feel like maybe this is the kind of the path?
Yeah, I hope. Because like I said, I originally I wanted this to get on television. When we first started filming, we created a trailer, and I sent the trailer out because I was trying to get it picked up off the trailer, and that didn't necessarily work out like I wanted to. And I definitely do hope that we do have the same success, but I just feel like YouTube is different now. Back then, you probably had a higher chance of your stuff growing and people finding it. Now it's just more and more. I think I read somewhere they have like 800 million channels now. And so it wasn't that many.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that many doing her chance. And I've heard of people saying that they were reached out to by like Netflix because of their project was on TV. That would be a great hope. And so I'm always like pushing it, trying to get views. I asked the girls, did you tell your grandma to tell her bingo club to watch We Are Thrilled? You said your grandma had a lot of friends. Did you tell? So I'm always doing that and pushing that to hopefully get that success, because I think this would be great. I know that this would be great on television, and to have it in front of a mass audience.
Yeah, that's the tricky part, finding. Sounds like you're your own showrunner.
Everything. So I try every day. Like I was just like, I didn't even know I was gonna send them a message about We Are Thrilled. They might like it, and I just send a message. So we just really out here pushing it. And the good thing is with a web series is that we can grow, because like the Awkward Black Girl, like she grew with that series.
Absolutely.
So, I was able to grow and I'm like, hey, I found out this worked. Some clips on social media work. Some work on Instagram and then some may not work as much as on YouTube. And then some work on YouTube, some may not work on Instagram. So it's just, you just never know. I just try to keep posting. I try not to put stuff on too much on my personal account. But I just keep posting and praying and creating. And
Right.
it's finna work out. It's gonna work out. But
It will. Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, I think
it
you got a
has
good
worked out.
foundation.
Look, it has worked out.
yeah, I mean, I came such a long way. Like when I tell you I had thought of this project, I tell people I thought of this project before Angel Reese blocked the shot when she was holding the shoe.
Hmm.
And I was trying to get it out. And I talked to people and people didn't talk back. People didn't call back. People who said they were going to do this didn't follow through. And I just got to the point where I'm quick to move on. I said, okay, well, let me move on to the next thing. That's no thing. I move on to the next thing. But this project I kept thinking about it. I was like, well, maybe if we did this, maybe if I tried this, maybe if I do it again. And then all of a sudden, it just, people who didn't called back. Areas that was closed opened up. And I even had a meeting. I found the crew because I don't film. I had a crew. We had 3 meetings. I was supposed to film on a Saturday. I found out the week before that they couldn't do it. And so I literally lost my crew.
Mm.
And my friends joke about me because I say that, like, people say your prayer closet. I just go in the shower and talk to the Lord. And I was in the shower and I said, God, I know I didn't do anything wrong for this app. I don't know what it is. And I ended up finding my film crew. And I found Marcus because during COVID, I don't, get churchy, but God will connect your experiences. During COVID, we took our child laser tag and we ended up going at 9:30 at night, questioning our parenting. And we ended up doing laser tag with these kids from Townsend. And I ended up talking to them, and one of them was a film major. And she was over this film society in Townsend, at Townsend. So she said, you could work on a project with us, or if you need help, let us know. And I was like, really? And I tried and tried to get them to work on the blues, and I tried and tried, and it never happened. And when I lost my crew for We Are Thrill, I was at the light and I sent a text message to them. I think the girl graduated, but I sent a text message and said, listen, I said, I'll pay. It's not going to be a lot of money. I need to film. This was on Tuesday. I need to film Sunday. Is there anybody who can help? By the time I got to the next light, the girl said, she responded while I was at that light, and she said, okay, I'll put something out and see what people say. By the time I got to the next light, I got a message, and it was Marcus, and he said, I want to help.
That's awesome.
And we've been rocking and rolling since.
That's something. So perseverance pays off.
Yes.
Prayer works.
Yes, always. I mean, this is what God wants me to do. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't have been here. Nobody would have ever responded. Like,
Right.
I'm doing clearly what God wants me to do. And so at times this has been easy.
My cousin says God gives you God winks. Listen, let's talk a little bit to our audience. If you all are just tuning in and listening to this conversation with this entrepreneur, filmmaker, Keisha Boston Gallagher, we want to encourage you to put your questions and comments in the chat. We're glad to have you join us, whether you're joining us live today as we're having this conversation, or whether you come across this later and you're watching it later. Just put your comments in the chat. We're glad to have Keisha here. She is a self-made filmmaker who's always creating. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day she got behind the camera, Jay Jackson. Because she's always an entrepreneur, but she doesn't like that part.
Thank you.
She doesn't
And
like.
I'm a parent too. Like I'm actually during the games is where I come up with my questions because I can't really prepare too many questions. Like I got to see what happened. So
Right.
I'm doing the questions as well as yelling at my child.
Absolutely.
So.
You're cheering at your child and you're coaching her from the sidelines and
Yeah.
asking her how come she didn't move left instead of right.
Yeah. So sometimes if you see me in the footage, I'm sitting there with my phone like
Trying to come up with
because
some.
yeah,
We,
I put all my questions in the phone.
well,
Fair
why
enough.
not? You're creating as you go, so
Yes, yeah.
that's good. And how do the girls feel about it?
They they're funny. When the camera shows up, they like, we filming today? We filming? Okay, all right. And if everybody wants to be mic'd up. And I'm like, we're not miking you up during the game. And they're like, well, I got mic'd up that one time. I was like, but you fouled out and we can't use that. I can't do that again. Like, we can't risk that. Like, everyone wants to be mic'd up. I believe they love seeing themselves. And I think the new thing now is that the social media clips are showing their just situations in the game. And so now they're seeing it and they're laughing at themselves and they're commenting and they are sharing it. But the girls, the parents, they have been so supportive. They didn't like, I have a waiver. They just like, oh, we good. You don't gotta sign a waiver. We good. We good. Y'all better sign this waiver. Please sign this waiver. Yeah,
Right.
all the girls, they're like, can you interview me? Can you interview me? I'm like, and say what? Like, what do
And
you want me to
what are their ages? What are their ages?
they're from sixth grade to eighth grade.
Okay.
So I want to say they're like about 11.
11,
I think nobody turned 14 yet.
11 and
But
13. Yeah.
yeah, around that age. That's like where they are. And like the coach has been really, really great. When I first talked to her, I was kind of like, so you really entertaining me about this? Like, because it felt
Are you
like it
sure?
wasn't possible. Like it just felt like it wasn't possible. But she always talked to me about it, and she definitely wants to use this to bring a platform to the girls, especially now we're in this NIL age. Like she wants them to have a platform because the ultimate goal of all of this is to get these girls money for school and
Right.
of course to create some awesome humans and along the process. But that's definitely a goal. I have no desire to pay for college for my child. If I have to pay for college, somebody did something wrong. I don't know if it was me or if it was her, but I have no desire. Like
Fair enough.
So, so you're looking. This is AAU's team. So you're looking for a D1 or D2 school to get in. That means their grades are good too.
Yes. And even like I was telling the coach, I was like, listen, Maddie can't do practice. She's taking these advanced classes and she's just have all this homework. She was like, she has to learn time management because we're all in advanced classes at this point. Okay. Like, so, they're all scholars. I've never heard a story about them having bad grades or anything like that.
Mhm.
So,
Well, speaking of producing things, we're producing the show. I asked our producer, and maybe we can pull up a clip of one of the I think they're called one of your episodes of We Are Thrilled, just to get an idea, maybe 30 seconds, Jay, not too long.
that'd be nice.
See,
That'd be
'cause I don't
nice.
know. I don't know if she can do it. I sent her a note because she wasn't prepared to do it in advance at all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it's
that would be nice.
well, if we can. So Jay Jackson, we have this entrepreneur here. So Keisha, there are a lot of people I think who have dreams and they have aspirations and they want to be more and they know their 9 to 5 is not quite what they were called to do. What advice? What would you say to the younger Keishas out there? They're,
Younger
they're,
kids
they're
I did
absolutely
not create. Uh,
they're absolutely out there, men and women who are trying to figure it out, especially in the environment that we're in now in terms
mhm.
of AI innovation and everything else. So what would you say?
I mean, I just want to say, first of all, I too have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5. And even those people who are like 100% sole entrepreneurs, that's a blessing. God bless them. But those streets do get rough as well. Sometimes they're looking for work. But I strongly believe, the Bible says that God causes all things to work together for our good. And so everything that you're going through and everything that you have will definitely work together. I was a teacher. And I was teaching during COVID, and we were heavily in using Google Drive. And so now, because I've learned how to use Google Drive, I use it for my projects. Like, oh, just click this link, sign this waiver. I use that for my project. And so even though you have a 9 to 5, definitely use your time. If you have time there, like I bring my laptop to work to edit during lunch. And I don't do it all day because I don't want to edit all day. I edit during lunch. And then once my lunch is up, I put it up. But, don't use your job as an excuse as far as why you can't work on what you want to work on. And even if you don't know, explore. TikTok, YouTube, and I say TikTok heavily because you have people giving experiences. They're giving their opinion of the experience. AI is a wonder. I say AI has turned into my best friend. I say AI is my best friend. And I say that because of the fact that it helps you be productive. Like I'm big on my creativity. Like AI, I don't know if I would trust it to edit We Are Thrill or anything like that. But as far as like creating thumbnails, writing press releases, I have a friend who we went to college. She went to school for like the media and she had a great background. And she was helping me with that, with the blues, but she ended up getting diagnosed with leukemia and she beat it, thank God, and everything. So when I asked her like, hey, let's get the team back together for We Are Thrill, she was like, I'm just not in that space right now. She was just trying to heal from the whole experience, which was totally fine. And so I had to figure out some things on my own. And so, don't spend your life blaming AI. Like use it to work with you. Use it to help you. Use it to come up with your presentations. Use it to just ask the ideas to flesh out what it is exactly what you do. But definitely don't let that 9 to 5 hold you back. Take your time when you get home from work. And if you're busy like me, you could be in the car. You know how you pull up to your house? This how you know you got kids. When you pull up to the house and just sit in the car for 5 minutes, maybe 10. Use that time. If you get to work early, you supposed to be at work at 8. You pull up at 7:45. Use that time in the parking lot. If you have that job to do that. Use the weekends. Use your time to definitely work on the thing that you feel as though you're called to.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
So while I'm sort of stalling as I'm trying to get your trailer up here, so I'll just ask you another question.
No problem.
So with there's always been interest, but there's been sort of this like kind of meteoric rise over the last like season for the WNBA. Have you sort of the rivalry has started, and which was also the impetus of why the NBA is so popular, the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson rivalry and all this other stuff. So have you seen more interest in your documentary, like once that sort of took off and it's like, oh, right, women's basketball, this exists, like, and all these people are just like flooding to the interest, or at least an increase in interest?
I think there is an increase of content creators and people whose platform is specifically for women's sports and really women's basketball.
Yeah.
That has been an increase. So that's what I noticed. I just had an interview with a podcast called Mid Majors, and they were 2 former D1 players, and how they spoke of We Are Thrilled, they were just like, man, it was because they understood it. They played basketball. They're women. They were like, this was so great. I saw the intention and how you get the coach to buy, this was their thing. This was their platform. So it's really been really well loved by the sports community, and specifically those who are really standing on the soapbox for women's basketball.
Okay. All right. I'm going to attempt to get this to play, so hopefully it works well. So here's the trailer for We Are Thrilled.
So, I mean, ultimately, my goal is to get back to the championship game. The main problems that we're having with the girls when it comes to the vision that we have for them is the lack of self-confidence. Some have a few self-esteem issues in their skill ability, but the biggest challenge overall is just them competing with themselves. They are their biggest competition. It seems that it may be our competitors that kind of make them attach more to their weaknesses, but it's really them. Thrill on 3, family on 6. 1, 2, 3, thrill. 4, 5, 6, family.
All right, there you go. So that's a good trailer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the one. I'm a sucker for like great scores, by the way. But but you know, like it's cool because I think people don't realize maybe the level of, you know, people think of like, it's just kids playing, but like kids are competitive too, and like they get into it. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, you see parents, they get super into it and sort of see it from the outside. Like you could get pulled into these kind of things very easily. So
yeah, and it's not even. I won't even say kids are competitive. Youth sports brings in more money than the NFL.
Well, that's true.
Like, and the amount of money that they charge. We saw the. I sat in row A, okay, and we saw the Mystics play the Indiana Fever in Baltimore at the CFG Arena. And I want to say for row A, it was almost the same price for a weekend for my husband and I for a basketball tournament.
Wow.
For my daughter's basketball tournament. Again, row A. See, professionals. So
right.
It's something. And this is a whole nother reason why I did this too, is because a lot of times in mainstream media, the girls, whenever it's time for the girls to play basketball, they show them they're dribbling with their head down and they're like shooting with two hands. And I'm like, that's not how girls play basketball. That's not true representation of what is happening. Because if you go to these girls tournaments, it is just as dynamic as the boys tournament. They charge the same amount of money.
Right.
They have the same amount of court. Like they're doing the same thing. Only difference is girls there and it's not boys. And so really want to show this because this is just such a this is like this big thing is going on, because they show pictures of Angel Reese when she was a little girl and she was playing, and they show a highlight. She was with Team Takeover, and they would show that, and it's like, let's show what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing I noticed, good job, by the way. Thanks, Jay. You did a good job too, getting the trailer.
Thank you. Good job.
The other thing I noticed is something that was said, and it's subtle, but it carries on to adulthood. In fact, there are a group of us doing a conference around this in April, that imposter syndrome and insecurities in young women
oh my gosh,
starts early, and this whole thing around image, right? So it starts very, very early, and it goes into adulthood, and it goes into the workplace, and it goes all kinds of places. And so that's something that I think is very important. I see you had it, in the trailer.
Yes. And
So,
that's the thing, is that their biggest enemy, she says, is not the other team, it's them. Like, my kid goes to the trainer, and the trainer was like, "So what are you thinking during the game? Like, what's going on? Like, what was you thinking?" Like, so that's their biggest enemy, is them. And what it does is it causes them to second guess themselves. It slows down the process and the art of playing basketball,
mhm.
and it causes mistakes. And those mistakes create turnovers, such as turnovers that creates points on the other team, and that creates losses.
Yep, yep. And it's as I said, it's something that carries over to adulthood. So hopefully this
Hmm.
series will also help the girls to see some of that
Yeah. And
and
so,
and not carry it over, because all girls don't carry it over, but a lot do, a whole lot
yeah,
do.
please get this out your system so we can win this game. Like,
There you go.
please get this out your system, please. Like, my child, she had a game Saturday. Her game was at 9 o'clock p.m.
Wow.
Wow.
And I was like, please win. It's going to be a tough ride home if you lose.
Was it
And
the
we
first
had to be here.
was it the first
Oh,
game of the tournament, or were they already
no, it was the second. It was the second. But if I'm filming, I have to sit for the other team.
right?
So that probably was my fourth game of the day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fourth.
it's something you do not have a life.
Yeah, I mean, and my child, she plays other sports. She plays club lacrosse, and she plays travel soccer and AAU basketball. And the coach of the girls team is Kiana Cheatham, and so everybody loves her. And I always joke, like, y'all love. They're like, I agree with that coach. I agree. I love her. I love her methods and stuff. But she says, we take a break. We take a break in the summer. I'm like, no, you don't. Y'all do not take a break. They may have like 2 weeks off, and then next thing I know, it's workouts or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's an all thing. But I love basketball. I used to play basketball as a child. My child is living through me, or I'm living through her, and she's benefiting off of my athletic trauma and whatever else. So she is over prepared, and she does not appreciate how mommy is going hard for that little girl all the time. But yeah, I'm like, your outfits got to match. Like, I'm trying to explain to you. Do you understand? Your cleats and the outfits, they got to go together. Like,
That's like every child's nightmare, that their parents played sports. Like, oh great, here we go.
oh yeah. Like lacrosse and soccer, I know nothing about. And I'm like, I'm going to, like, she had lacrosse. I said, I'm going to go talk to her and tell her she needs to step it up, because I don't know what she was doing out there. And I go to walk over to her, and she goes, "Hey, I got MVP." And I was like, "What?"
Are you sure?
It was like, "They gave you MVP?" She was like, "Yeah."
And then she said, "And what did you want to talk to me about?"
Right.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me
The
know when
coach,
you
then
see
the
that.
coach looked at me because she knew what I was about to say. She looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm still learning this sport. I don't know. I just." And then it was 3 games, and then they had another game, and I said, "Okay, now it's time for the talk." And she goes, "Mom, I got it again." I said, "Okay." And so I said, "Well, listen. At this point, if you get 3, that's a three-peat." And she loves The Last Dance with the Bulls with Michael Jordan. So I said,
Yeah.
that's a three-peat. And her eyes was like, and lo and behold, she had 5 points and got MVP again.
Hmm.
And so
Well,
Hey,
good for
there you
her.
go. I love it.
Good for her.
yeah.
So this is the portion of the show that we talk about getting on the box and what you want people to take away from your work in this interview. So I will go first, and I'm going to pass it to Dr. Draper, and then Keisha, you can close us out. Look, I'll just say this: there is not, as you pointed out earlier, there isn't if any, a lot of young girls documentaries surrounding basketball, sort of in like a youth league, which I think is important. I think we would be remiss to not notice that they are young Black girls, which is even more rare, right? But also, I think that's important to put a light on them and see where, how they're doing and everything else, because they are, they're going to do big things as they grow older. But also putting a spotlight on your work, which I think is important, and your career and your arc as you're going through this. And when you were talking about how you worked sort of as like, a background actor and then a principal actor, and then realizing, this is not really what I want to do. I thought I want to do marketing. And then you kind of make it to where you are now. It reminded me of another Black female director. This is one of those kind of funny little notes is, Ava DuVernay, who did Selma and, When They See Us and, 13th and all this other stuff. Is a phenomenal director. She started out her career as a background sort of publicist on Spider-Man 2, right? So she wanted to be in the industry, but it was like, I guess I'll do this. And then was like, this is not what I want to do. And she had this arc. And I think I see similar kind of things. And you're talking about, how you're very similar run as like Issa Rae and things like that. So I don't want to say I wish you luck because I think you're already on your path. So I'll just say I can't wait to see what else you do. So Keisha, thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So let me echo that. Thanks. We're glad that you're here. And you may not realize it, but you're a real role model for others, especially young women who are trying to figure it out. Because a lot of times, they go to college and they're in a lane and don't realize that lane doesn't always go straight. There are curves in that lane. Sometimes there are detours in that lane, and sometimes the whole thing is closed. You think you can get off of that ramp, and that exit is not even open to you. But you've been persistent in doing what you're doing, and so I want to say kudos to you. Thank you for following these young ladies, because that is also, excuse me, an age group that is often overlooked or characterized as, don't want to work with them. I, like you, was a teacher, and my favorite age group was middle school. I taught middle school. Did you know that, Jay?
I did. Yes, you told me that. Yeah.
I taught middle school, and people would think I was crazy because those are just my favorite group of young people are middle schoolers, right? Then they get to high school and say, you don't like me anymore. I said, I like you, It's a group. But all of that, just put that spotlight on them when it's at a very, very critical stage and age. So you have a documentary going, just following your daughter, if she allows you to do it. Just following her career. Because it sounds like she's a great athlete and has great aspirations. So you get a 2 for mom. You get to be there at the game, and you get to do film, and so that's a really good combination. And I'm like Jay. I'm praying that all of your prayers come true, and that your 9-5 gets dropped in 2020.
Amen. Listen,
if you'd done it last year, I could have made a rhyme. Since you're doing it in 2026. So that's my prayer for you. And keep on sharing, keep on doing what you're doing. And keep encouraging people. Push people. I'm one that pushes people to their purpose. So
that's so great.
Thank you for being on.
Thank you for both of your kind words. Like, I really appreciate it. It's a new year. I haven't thought about quitting yet. Last year, that December got a little rough. I think about quitting often, every other week, bi-weekly. But I do thank you for your kind words and putting things into perspective. Please, I pray that you stay in touch. If you have, please, I would love to show up for something. I would love to have the girls to show up for something. If I can work with their schedule, with the virus going around right now, we had to all deal with that. And so, but I really thank you. I just hope, I have many goals, but definitely I'm really hoping to gain the support and hearts of Baltimore, of Maryland, the local area. And for them to support the team and support the program and just pour into love into the program. The girls are here. We are playing. And again, we definitely want your support. Please Watch, subscribe, comment on YouTube, share. Everything. I have a story. So I probably believe I could hope do a Bible study on an episode if I wanted to. But I definitely do would want your support. And I also pray that this interview was confirmation for anybody who was teetering on the fence of making it happen. This is the beginning of the year where everybody is like, hey, we're going to make it happen. Please continue to make it happen. And I know that the Bible says that he will give you the desires of your heart. Nothing has been easy. And even I feel like this is the most I've been saying a lot of biblical stuff. But even when God told Joshua, I've given you the land, they still had to go and fight for it. They still had to go to war. So just because God gives you something, don't think that you're just going to wake up and it's just going to end up in your lap. Of course, we would love it that way, but you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to work for it. But knowing that you're doing what he wants you to do is going to make it a little bit easier. But please continue to fight for your dreams. Continue to go at it. And, sometimes we got to fail and figure our way out through it and never be scared to do that.
Thank you. All righty.
Thank you.
We conclude this episode of the Chicken Box and encourage you to support the Afro. Go to afro.com. Please get a subscription. If our other co-host was here, he'd remind us that it's less than the cost of 2 Uber Eats. I just offer $40 a year. I just ordered something using Uber Eats. So let's say less than the cost of one Uber Eats. So do that. We also have a campaign to support young journalists and to help us with our campaign as we are getting ready for our 133rd year this year. I don't know what year the 135th is in 2027, 2026. So we're already 133. I think I said 131 earlier. We're already 133. We'll be 134 this year. We have a 133 campaign asking people to give $13, right? Or $133 or $1,333 between now and March, which is not Black History Month, but it's the founding of the Black press happened in that month back in 1827.
Excellent.
Yep, that's a documentary.
That's good.
That's a documentary all in.
Yeah, that's a whole.
And of itself, there's so much to write about. So anyway, Impeccable, if he were here, would also say call a senior. If they don't text them, don't send them an email. Just pick up the phone and call them and let them know that you are thinking about them. And so until next time, thank you, Keisha Boston Gallagher, for being on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. Thank you to our producer, Asia Martin. We appreciate you. And to my co-host, Jay Jackson, always. And you know a little bit about this YouTube and podcast. We have to put you in the other seat, Jay, one time and ask you some questions about what you're doing as well. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.